cross. He was nominated for the Medal of Honor, but that was rejected for some reason. Something to do with being in a team effort. He didn't go by himself, so he doesn't deserve the Medal of Honor, which doesn't really make sense, but it never does. So that happened.
Before starting my journey at WGU, I transferred from a community college. It kind of gave me the chance to get my foot on in the door, and I was really ready to finish at WGU. But it just gave me that flexibility to be able to do my courses on effort.
Learn more now. Now from here, it's pretty smooth sailing. They don't have much contact with the German military. They're pretty much just...
In just a few hours. This country. The Merv.
Why are these people my friends? I don't need them. I feel like I'm connected to them emotionally.
In just a few hours.
Now to the Seminole.
Before you ask, yes, this is in fact the guy that Brad Pitt's character in the movie Fury is based off of.
In just a few hours.
But before I get started, first, he knows.
I'm really surprised at how little training the Air Force does with the rifle.
Oh! My drill sergeant says it's tingling, but that can only mean one thing. Some airman from the Tennessee Air National Guard just got arrested for trying to be a hitman? Yeah! Shoot him. A Tennessee Air National Guardsman was arrested for trying to be a hitman. Because when I think of hitman, some wet agents, some specialty shooter guys, I think of the Tennessee National Guard over everybody else. Screwed up in special forces, or every movie you've ever seen about a wet agent. Tennessee National Guard, they're the ones you want. And more on. Let's meet our target for today, guys and gals. Airman Josiah Ernesto Garcia, the man who thought, with 2 years of training in the Tennessee Air National Guard, that he could be a hitman. Now, how would become a hitman? Well, let's think this through. I don't know, maybe have a mob connection, or somebody in the cartel needs something done, so you hang out with them a little bit, or maybe you put out subtle Craigslist ads suggesting the most nefarious offense. Or, which I think is the most Tennessee Air National Guardsman thing you can do, Ernesto Garcia here Googled up how to be a hitman, and then went to the first clickable site, hitman.com, and filled out an application, because the hitman industry is obviously just like McDonald's. Right, you just got to fill out an application. Like, oh yeah, now my first couple of years I was in high school, and then I went to the military, and then I worked at Barnes and Noble for a summer, and then now I want to be a hitman. And it doesn't sound so stupid until you actually look at the website, which Mark Garcia definitely didn't do, because hitman.com is a parody website. It pokes fun at what a corporate hitman agency might actually look like and run in the real world. It's even got a YouTube video on it with the owner, whose name is Guido. His name is fucking Guido. Talking about how these hitmen get jobs. Literally hundreds of bullshit 5-star ratings on how people's problems were solved, or how their divorce all of a sudden became super simple because of the rent-to-hitman thing, or how the neighbor's dog is finally silenced. Now they can get a full night's sleep. I don't know if you remember Ask a Ninja from the mid-2000s.
With Rosa's Planet Fitness Black Card, Jess tags along for free. Now these besties are the best hatchet tossers in town. Get your Planet Fitness Black Card today for just $1 down, $24.99 a month. Planet Fitness, whatever you're getting fit for.
Everybody does. Some of us peacefully in our sleep. And some of us forcefully. That's why.
Hitman.com is to hitmanning as Ask a Ninja is to actual ninja AE. This dope had to have scrolled through the entire thing and just went right to the application and never read a word because there's even a HIPAA joke in the website's main page. HIPAA, which stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, was changed on this website to mean Hitman International Privacy Protection Act. And if you put the two HIPAAs together, you'll notice that the letters don't actually align with the acronym. Good job, Aaron. Good job, Aaron Garcia. You are very smart. You are the smartest of the Tennessee's National Guards. But I'll give it to the site because they recently updated its discount rates. You'll notice it's got group discounts for 3 or more, senior discounts for those 65 and above, spring cleaning discounts because, hey, why not? And now its most recent International Guard discounts. Golly, they're giving away military discounts. What a bunch of great guys these Red Hitman are. But let's get back to Airman Garcia, a.k.a. Reaper, because that's what he told the FBI. And on his application, what his nickname was, his Hitman alter ego, the Reaper. Come on, kid. You couldn't have thought of something a little bit more unique, something airmanish, like Warhead, or Wingman, or the penny pincher, because you melt down all the copper and pennies and form those into bullets, because they expand better like a sheep charge. Anyway, with a name like Reaper, I'm sure this is one scary looking dude. Let's take a look at young Airman Garcia. So Reaper. What's on your barrel? That bird shit? Well, that's pink. Did you paint the tip of that barrel? Why is the front sight post look like it's off the lid? Is this an airsoft gun? Are you holding an airsoft gun? Oh, a nice trigger discipline. Huh? The only thing you're breathing is a bunch of bald eagles and raccoons that are above you and squirrels in the trees, and you blast off a couple of negligent discharges. Get your finger up. I'm done the trigger. You know what I thought? Your actual Hitman nickname now. I'm gonna call you Milk. I think Milk should be it, because it looks like you just drank a warm glass of milk, and you can just wipe off the fucking shitty mustache you got with your sleeve. Like, thanks, Mom, for the warm glass of milk before I go to bed. What's that? I've got something on my upper lip. It's my mustache, Mom. And I told you, stop calling me Josiah. It's Reaper now. Ever since I passed Air Force Base in training and became a fuel handler, I've become Reaper. Oh no, my mustache, it's gone! Hey man, I bet you this kid wishes he hit puberty a little bit harder. The saddest looking facial hair I've ever seen. Oh, there he is in his uniform, just flexing, looking good for the ladies like a big old bag of trash. Where'd you get your uniform from? The laundry basket of a volunteer fireman? Oh, we're gonna put our tie up all the way, right? We're gonna leave the thing hang down. We need that loose in case you have to take it off really quickly like a garage. Just choke somebody because you're Come on, Milk. How would you just fix your tie, Milk? Oh, and this son of a bitch dares marry Natty D, a national defense remit. What a disgrace to the Natty D. Somebody should remove that shit from him. Post haste. Get it off, Milk. You don't deserve it. But how did he get caught? How did he possibly get caught? He's a hitman in training, isn't he? This dipshit applied so many times to the fake parody Hitman website that they alerted the FBI. This guy's done like over 10 fucking applications. We gotta let the FBI know about this shit. This guy actually trying to do something. And what did he put on his application? Well, his actual phone number and home address. Wow. Because that's what Hitmen do, right? That's what Hitmen do. They put their actual home and address down. That's exactly what John Wick did. Whoa, speaking of John Wick, look at 000 over here. Really getting in touch with his character. And look at this. I know that's a paintball gun. That's a fucking paintball gun. I can see the little doodly dude, like ball hopper catcher, put the ball in shirt magazine. I don't know what the fuck you call it. I don't play paintball. It's right there on the top of his head. And what is up with your dipshit beret? You look like some sort of fail out of the Foreign Legion fruitcake. When did this moron become fucking chest, though. Fucking do some push-ups. Milk. Now, of course, the FBI goes to pick up young Milk here. His hitman career sure soured. That's why he's called Milk. The mustache and his hitman career soured so fast, you would have thought it was Milk. But now we gotta ask ourselves, how did he get caught? Well, the FBI set up a sting so they could get Milk. And sure as shit, Milk shows up all ready to go. The FBI agent goes, hey, listen, we're from the Run to Hitman agency. We got $2,500 for you to start a hit, and then we're going to give you $2,500 after. Are you okay with cutting off people's fingers and torture? And Milk goes, oh, yeah, I'm fine with that. And the FBI agent must have thought, wow, this kid is on the spectrum. He fast-paced training. Let me just assist him a little bit more. Listen, you're going to have to kill, like, maybe a bunch of people, and that could suck, right? Like, think about killing 50 people. Now, you probably don't want to do that, do you? No. 50's like chum numbers. I can do so much more. And I can only think that the FBI agent sitting there undercover, looking at this chum, must have just wanted to face pop and go. You spent 2 years in the Tennessee Air National Guard, deployed 0 places. And I don't even know what your other life is, but it's definitely not combat related. And all your photos on the internet are you holding not real guns. People lie, but yet they give Milk one more chance. Investigation gives you a chance to walk away. Do it. Take it. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like Ruby Ridge or fucking what's that shit place in Texas? Come on, David Crush. Where do you go? Waco, Texas. So in their third and final attempt, the FBI agent goes, listen, this could really mess up your military career. Are you sure that this is something you want to do? West should do. He does the most Milk thing ever. Yeah, and takes the $2,500 and is promptly arrested. And just like a good Milk, he turns like that and starts saying, oh, I was gonna get the money back. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to do it for real. So way to go, Air National Guard. You're really killing it. Really making the news these days. On the top tier of excellence is the Air National Guard right now. Mississippi Army Reservists are laughing at you, you Air National Guard members. No offense to Mississippi Reservists either. So, hillbillies out there really know how to fuck shit up. All right, carry on. Get back here, you. Oh, God. It sounds like time ships down there. Or maybe put out suggestive Craigslist ads with nefarious fucking chode.
Just found this on.
If you're not here for a good day, you will not buy any bags of any kind of sort. You have your taxes here. And why you got 100 first batch on? You ain't there yet. That fucking first batch on. You're too fucking unemployment.
All right, let's educate some people on why this is a deal.
were yelling and screaming at a guy that's just wearing a funny looking patch, like this. You see, those are brand new privates who probably just graduated basic training. They're still in basic training. They have yet to go to their unit. Now, this young man is prepping a little too much by buying the unit patch that he will soon be in, but he's not in that unit yet. He's still in basic training land. Now, you have to earn the unit patch. Now, I know that some people will disagree. They'll say, no, you have to go overseas, then you get this. It's a combat pass, which goes under the unit flag, which shows you were overseas. But there's some shit with that unit. Now, you might say, well, when they get, he's going to get that Screaming Eagle patch, and he hasn't earned it, and I disagree there. Because although he'll be getting the patch right away, joining the unit, being a brand new guy, he's going to spend several months learning the appropriate way that people do things in the 101. And he's going to mess up a lot. And in messing up, and then learning, and relearning the appropriate way to do things in the 101, he's going to sweat and earn that patch. Along with going to aerosol school. So the drill sergeant there, appropriate situation by saying, hey, guy, you didn't earn it. The Army is big on earning things. Don't just show up. You don't get participation trophies. You have to earn things. He's saying, hey, guy, you didn't earn that 13, that off. And then we're there. And I think the flying chest bump was totally appropriate. In fact, that's the private's fault. He should have yelled at ease, make way, and gotten out of the drill sergeant's way, so the drill sergeant could have appropriately removed the patch, held onto it, and told the young private he can retrieve it when he goes to his unit the following day or week, etc. So, kids, you're not going to be pitting yourself with your airborne wings if you haven't gone to airborne school. You're not going to be wearing aerosol wings or a combat patch before you deploy it, after you've earned it. Okay, carry on. He's definitely regretting the decision. Idiot. Have you ever wanted to keep your favorite YouTuber or influencer close, and I mean really close? Well, fear not, because LAS has worked together with myself and Donut Operator to create a $3,000 holster. Oh, check it out in the link below.
Why is filing your taxes with Free Tax USA different? Well, for starters, our premium federal tax returns are free for everyone, no matter what. With a free offer like this, people often ask, so how do you make money? While our federal return is always free, we make money from our optional paid services, like our state tax return, which is less than $20. Next, you may be asking, is Free Tax USA safe? Yes, we always keep your information encrypted, private, and secure. As an authorized e-file provider, we've securely filed over 60 million tax returns directly with the IRS. Finally, you need to be sure will my taxes be done right. We guarantee it. All of our calculations are guaranteed accurate. We also guarantee you'll get your biggest possible refund. Trying something different this year could save you $100 or more on your tax filing. Making the switch is easy. Try Free Tax USA today.
And I will tell senior leaders, I don't have no problem having discipline.
Did you hear that? That's Major General Eisenhower. Not the Eisenhower that we know, different spelling. But there's some name recognition there. Anywho, this clip has been making its rounds the past couple of days. Everybody's up in arms because the General said that mold is a discipline problem. A discipline problem. Dealership problem. So here I am telling you the deep dive that I did about this interview with this general and the other general next to him, Lieutenant General Jones. What originally piqued my interest in the story is that after seeing it everywhere and seeing a decent breakdown on Task and Purpose, who I follow, and I think you should too if you want to stay up on military issues, well, I noticed that it was only this little blip. Where was the rest of the video? Now, it's a good question, because I scrolled down to the bottom of the Task and Purpose article. I saw one comment in particular saying that this was just a small blurb taken out of a 90-minute video, and how dare Task and Purpose take this small bit and make it seem like this general didn't care, when the entire 90-minute presentation, Q&A, was all about soldiers and how to properly take care of them. And I took a little bit of digging, because nobody would quote their sources or put a link to the actual video. But I found it. I was able to find, in totality, the 90-minute interview with Lieutenant General Jones and Major General Eisenhower. It's linked below, but it's on the U.S. Army Material Command Facebook account. Facebook, where you go for news. If it's your uncle telling you that Israel's using nerve gas with Delta Force to fight the Palestinians in Hamas, or your aunt telling you that Joe Biden has a body double, and the real one's dead, and Jim Carrey's playing him. What happened, please? But before we go any further and potentially get demoted for talking about a story involving a 2- and 3-star general, you bet your body there's a sponsor. Which is why you should use Factor 75 for your meal prep. When you hear meal prep, you think bodybuilder, some sort of fitness competitor. But no, it's for everyday Joes like you and me. You're happy, Mr. Olympia. But you can still use Factor to cut down the extra LBs that you might be overeating. Because instead of a dinner plate, you're using portions the size of a garbage can lid. Factor 75 helps you set your goals and meet them, along with getting the proper amount of nutrition. And having a couple meals in the fridge is perfect for when life throws some curveballs at you. Be flexible, but eat healthy. And let's be honest with one another. Sometimes it's just because I'm lazy. I don't want to clean. I don't want to cook. I just want to sit out and relax. Watch a little bit of YouTubes. Eat my delicious Factor 75 meal without having to spend 30 minutes in the kitchen. Just open up the box, throw it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and you're chowing down on some delicious chicken and artichoke with a little side tray of veggies. And the shakes are great for a little morning pick-me-up. Skip breakfast, but still get the nutrition. And Factor's giving you 15% off of your first order just to try it out. Just use code, and I'm not making this up, Code ANGRY50 to get 50% off of your order. Pogue. How do they know? Just click the link below. Put in the code for 50% off. Pogue. Okay, let's kick this off, Lieutenant General Jones. Tell me what this whole thing is about.
But for him in particular, it is care, it is spousal bullying, and then communicating the PTSD process. But that one, in times that first one you saw in the film, the serious healthcare. There's another aspect here I think to address, and that's uninformed narratives.
All right, I like it. Let's get informed. Let's soak up the knowledge so we can make a good plan of attack. So far, nothing being said is inflammatory.
One of the things that, from a long time to now, and I think Secretary Wormuth kind of brought this out in opening ceremonies, where she said there was about $6.5 billion of deferred maintenance on our installations, and from young child to now, I've always heard stories that related to the Army treats its soldiers' families less than that of the other services, particularly the Air Force.
What you said was probably accurate 20 years ago,
It's still last choice.
but the commitment from the Secretary for investment year after year of over $1 billion, approximately $1.2 billion.
That $1.2 billion annually is probably being spent really shitty. Let's break that down. Let's say that it costs $1 million to fix each barracks to bring it up to a standard. $1 million. You could fix 1,200 massive barracks buildings. Do it. I'm giving you $1 million for barracks house, for one house. One barracks. Fix 1,200 of them. In the next year. Do it. Do it. Those are your numbers. You said those numbers. I'm giving you $1 million per home. Do it.
So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, how we avoid being on Army times more.
Before we start this episode, you should know that Unboxed USA celebrates what makes each of America's 50 states unique. Kids learn about the true diversity of our nation with facts, trivia, and tons of laughs.
All right, here's the question. Here's the question.
How do we stay out of the Army Times with the mold problem?
The Army Times is out there too, Karen, by the way. We're meeting with them here shortly afterwards. But Karen, thank you. And I'll tell you, but it starts with what I would say is first principles. And I'll provide a little more detail, but if you start with the Army as people, and the Army as command section, if you start with those two things, everything else kind of flows naturally from there. But I remember being shown a house in the summer of 2021, before privatization. And I walked in there with, I now have 3 sons, we had 2 sons at the time. I turned around and walked out. I said, I cannot ask my family to live in this house.
2021? You're 2 years ago? 2 years ago, a general, you were definitely a general 2 years ago. Great status, it takes a while. 2 years ago, you walked into an Army barracks and you said, this is so bad, I can't stay here. A general, you, a general, walked into a barracks and looked at it for you, the barracks was for you, and you said, this is unsafe. If that doesn't tell you how widespread this problem is, I don't know what is. For a general to walk into his new living quarters and be like, holy shit, this is trash. You don't think that shit flows downhill and that's a E1 walking through the fucking barracks he's about to go to is like, oh my god, black hole, dripping pipes, all this shit in a general's house isn't fucking up to standard.
And, we scraped together, we rented a place nearby, and, but I was not going to live in that house.
Scraping by? Are you sure you meant 2 years ago? You meant 2021, not 2001? Because holy shit, a general is not scraping by. And by the way, if you were a 1 or 2 star back then, which I'm sure you were, I'm almost certain that you would really get the creme de la creme of living spaces if you said, hey, I need a temporary living space on base housing person that's probably like a major or a lieutenant. But hi, General Jones here. Give me a fucking house, and that guy wouldn't ship you some beautiful pad to temporarily live in while your shit barracks house is getting redone and remade. I'm thinking that you're wrong with the year. But if you're not, holy shit, this issue is out of hand.
2 years later, I went to another installation again before privatization, and the garrison gave me the keys. He said, here's your house, and you really can't take this house. They said, this house is still there. We're going to demolish this house next year. Don't fucking work for it. So, because we're not going to respond unless it's a
Now, I don't doubt that it happened, because it happened to me in 2007 when I returned from overseas and I was in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Liberty, whatever. My unit literally tore down tape from World War II barracks that had asbestos and were condemned, and had black mold all in the showers. They're like, sorry, you're here for like 3 weeks, man, while you do your demobilization. Fucking deal with it. Luckily, somebody's stepdad or father-in-law was a 1-star, and he was just like, get these guys the fuck out of here in 3 days. You're not, they come home to fucking moldy shit on your fucking eye. So obviously this is a problem, right? Now you said the privatization of like these housing units, right? Using private companies, contractors, to come in and fix them. And that's pretty much stopped all this shit here for the past couple years, right? Oh, interesting you say that, because in January 6th I posted a video right there. Check that out. Balfour Beatty, one of those 6 major privatized companies that's supposed to take care of housing, stole $20 million from the United States government in just bonuses. In just bonuses. Because they didn't do their job. They didn't fix you when they were supposed to. They fudged the numbers on whether or not they fixed something. They fudged numbers on how fast they fixed it, if they fixed it. Oh, that's just for them to get the bonuses. We don't even know how many times that they screwed over housing people. Oh, wait. We do, because there was an investigation. And yet, they're still contracting for the U.S. military. So you ran into problems in 2021. I think you fucked up those years. 2023, I think you fucked that year up too. And now you say that the privatization of this, it fixed everything. It hasn't fixed everything, but it's really got taken care of. And then, but there's a congressional investigation on Balfour Beatty for fucking it up. Watch that video and tell me that the privatization of this, it's really solved a lot of issues. Oh, I don't
many times, and people want to put it down. 97 South is the Pilgrim POV. Drive down the housing office and stay there until it's resolved. And then the power of a first sergeant calling and saying, this is First Sergeant Eisenhower from Alpha 167. I want to talk about the worker for Corporal Jones's fence.
Well, there you go. I agree with that. Hey, sir, first class. Hey, first army. Your troops' barracks fucking suck. And even doing everything to try and fix them, it's your responsibility. I 100% agree with that. I don't know if a first sergeant actually calling these people causes a change. But hey, Tom, use that diamond with your dick out. That's the point, right? You're the guy in charge. You're the top dog. I'd love to see him, First Sergeant, on that phone call. Hey there, contractor. What's going on with doggone Soldier's Fest, huh? This doggone hole in that thing, and he put in a trip ticket like doggone 3 days ago. What the frig is he supposed to be doing with the hole in his fence? I have an idea. I'm gonna come down there and I stuff a butthole in your ass. Or, I don't know, maybe you got a big job. Cool.
Oh, it's a boy. And it looks like he's gonna like westerns. But what if westerns are not when he grows up?
He was born to love a western, that's what everybody said. And what gave him that impression was his fleshy cowboy head. Fleshy cowboy head. Fleshy cowboy head.
Because with the lack of humidity, we're not under the same conditions. We have had some mold problems, but that's with leaky pipes. We didn't discover until it was too late. There's a good way to fix these acute. Mold really isn't a problem to us. And I would tell senior leaders, all have a mold problem, have it visible.
Now there's the line. There's the clip. There it is, everybody. We've seen it. We've heard it. It's a discipline problem. It's a leadership problem. Sometimes. No, I get it. Yeah, sure, some Joes are gross and they're dirty and they don't know how to clean up after themselves, but when somebody asks you, General, how do we stay out of the Army times with this mold issue? None of the photos we see are a kid's toilet filled with shit because he just doesn't know how to flush. It's not a bathroom where the shower stall is dirty because he didn't scrub things down hard enough. It's drywall with black mold coming through it. It's heating ducts and AC vents that have black mold strewn all about them. Sometimes closets, which I think we both know are supposed to be dry, have black mold covering soldiers' uniforms, dress uniforms. God, those replaced. I personally think everybody got it up more because the bathroom cleaning isn't the issue. It's not the environment that is dry and tepid in Fort Worth, Texas, compared to other sweaty balls, muggy forts of the United States. It's barracks issues that go unheard, you know? Kind of like the lieutenant general going and living in an abandoned property that's condemned. Or walking out of one because it was so shitty 2 years ago. So he says, I really think he fucked up those days. But for some people, it's as real as it happened last week. How are we blaming the troops or the leadership for plumbing that's leaking behind the walls that causes black mold to grow on this side? Or the ducts? Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to have the troop go over there with the rag and then start hand shamming his arm in through the vents? Like, that's not on us. That's not 10-level tasks. 10-level tasks mean that you do that. It's operator issues. So I'm operating the thing. It's a basic level task I can fix. Can you open drywall and fix a leaky pipe ain't it? That ain't on the Joes. Going through the air ducts. That ain't on the Joes. Get together. And for any post commander to go, wow, I just have a brand new building since their fault. Here's a great example. I was in Fort McCoy, all the Joes for leadership school. Gave me brand new barracks, just built. We're like the second or third class in it. Would you be amazed if I told you there were 0 vents in the bathroom or shower areas, and that none of the windows opened up? Oh, they did it again. The bathrooms with shower stalls in it and shitters where I fucking shit my brains out and it reeks like shit. Notice the shit theme I'm going with? Don't have any vents. How do you get the moist air out of a room if there's no vents and the windows don't open up? Are we all suicidal threats that we can't crack a window 6 inches on the 3rd floor of a building? We're all dumb enough, we're just gonna fall out from there. It's out there. Every window in the barracks know, that's how these issues happen. And if a general can't change shit when he gets put into a condensed building or a moldy-ass barracks, why? How? That's when leadership and the truth. I think that's why people may be upset.
See something in the house that isn't quite right, they need to say something. They need to act, reach out and do the maintenance. Because that way it could be addressed before it becomes a huge issue.
I agree. If you see something, say something. But if you listen to anything I said in the past 2 minutes, how are we going to be heard when a general can't get into a good living quarters?
Facebook, they updated the feedback schedule today, or for this month. It wasn't done the previous 6 months. And we'll be on their website. So I understand that we have an improved app, we have facility information, but how do we get a requirement that be kept updated regularly so that soldiers can update that information and also set up a time at the end of the
And now we're taking up again. He's listening. He's like, okay, I'll switch it to our own. Oh, I'll fix that shit.
Last Monday, or last Thursday, when we have to do. You highlight him a little bit. Yeah.
Were you in the room? Is the biggest fuck you. Shut the fuck up, you. That's a pretty good fuck you. That is a very good camouflage. Shut the fuck up. It's the soldier's fault for not complaining? I need to watch that one more time.
And it gets back to that single source of reliable, accurate information delivered to those buildings.
Yeah. It definitely seems like he's blaming the soldiers for the time not being posted because they didn't complain on time. Wow, that's the most officerish thing I think I've ever seen. It's not my fault that the shit I'm in charge of is wrong. It's the soldier's fault for not complaining about it enough for me to change it.
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
It's break time, baby.
Sir, I understand the idea of having that feedback if it is wrong, but without it being a requirement, there's no force that requires that. I called the CG hotline from PAB to tell them that they hadn't updated their feedback schedule in 6 months. The month after it was in the news, they still didn't update it for that month.
Boom! I call, I complain, still no fixes. Who the fuck is there?
still was a lot of happy hours, a lot of ladies' nights, chasing women, drinking booze, probably a bar fight or two. Unemployment, an off day looks like a really good workout at the gym, a lot of Xbox. A lot of people go to the still and a lot. This is 20 years ago. We have the support guys going downtown and writing everybody that they are still teammate or still team too. And then they would go to those specific bars where skills hang out. When those bars are empty, that way most of them are actually doing it. But unfortunately, the bars got work there, and so that word would get around. A lot of times they would wind up taped to the flagpole naked when everybody shows up to work the next morning. The number one unspoken rule for the SEAL teams was work hard, play hard. As long as you could show up to work, ready to go, pristine condition, and be able to perform, they did not care how hard you played.
A new year and a new adventure with the perfect Chevy to take you anywhere with pure power unleashed and future-forward technology. Every path leads to new possibilities. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
As an Old Spice hair rescue worker, we're not just rescuing hair health and hairstyle. We're rescuing the man beneath the hair. It's a real rush.
Old Spice styling products promote healthier, fuller, and more moisturized looking hair, all while helping you consistently achieve the perfect look. That's because they're blended with the perfect mix of ingredients for men's hair, and they're available in low, medium, and high holds with matte and low shine finishes. Old Spice styling products leave no residue and wash off your hands easily.
Every day is different, but luckily, we've got the best tools out there.
My eyes are on you. Men have hair too. Rescue it with Old Spice styling products.
Some of the jobs I had at the still was one, I was a point man. Basically, point man is the point guy when you're doing an infill, entering into a target. You're the navigator, navigating your route in, how you're going to get in, how you're going to get out, how you're going to lead your entire team in. My first mission at the still was to go to Haiti in 2004. There was a lot of civil unrest going on all over Haiti. We stayed down at Guantanamo Bay, and basically what we would do is we would fly over on a helicopter every morning and do reconnaissance in all these different towns and villages to report back about the civil unrest. We had prisoners breaking out of prison, and it was just complete chaos. Bodies all over where on the beach, but it was just a reconnaissance mission. I felt good. Wasn't enough action for me. It made me really hungry for more. I wanted to go to the Middle East. The hairiest mission I've been on was when we went to Baghdad, and this was in SEAL Team 2. There was an election going on, and we had a badass lieutenant who started farming us out to conventional units who were having problems. We would find units that were getting blown up by IEDs or being ambushed on roads. Terrorists would set up roadside bombs, set up ambushes, and they would just blow these vehicles, kill our guys, time and time again. We would go on these conventional units for a couple of weeks and train them up, and then we would actually take them on a real world mission with us. And every time we went out, we would kill the guys that were killing them within a 24-hour time frame. I wasn't actually a schoolhouse trained sniper. I was just really good at it, and so when we did all these sniper missions, I was basically aiding the lead sniper and teaching the conventional guys how we do business. It was one of the biggest responsibilities I felt. There was a very small village outside of Taji that was considered black, and so what black means is no U.S. troops or personnel allowed to drive through, walk through, fly over. You basically just stay completely out of the town because it's so dangerous. This one was out in basically farm fields. And so we took 4 teams, and 4 teams of 2 or 3 guys each, and we set them up along this road. So, towns here, Blacktown, my LP was the first one right outside of the Blacktown, so it was the most dangerous spot to be in. And then we had our command and control type observation point kind of hidden back in the rear where they could do comms. And about halfway through the day, we got compromised. We were in weeds that were probably about chest high. So I padded down this little hallway, and I was laying in the grass looking at the town like I should have been. Probably about 30 meters off the road. And I saw a man walk right by me out of my peripheral, and I noticed when he walked by me, he noticed me. I could see him looking off the side of his eyes through his peripheral. I thought, maybe I'm supposed to kill this individual. He's going into a black town. I wanted to pull this out. I wanted to do an emergency extract because I could compromise the team. The rest of the sniper OPs decided they wanted to stay. They wanted to see how things went. 10 minutes later, we got ordered probably 4 to 5 different impacts right on top of us. I wanted to emergency extract again because I knew the next thing that was probably going to come was the fighting age males in the village would have walked online through the field and just killed all of us. The next thing that the search party did come, but it came with vehicles. We were so well hidden that goats were actually eating vegetation out of our ghillie suits with goat herders seeing us. And so everybody was scared to move when that was happening because you didn't want to alarm one of the goats. One goat goes crazy, then the whole herd goes crazy, then the goat herder knows something's going on. So we didn't move. A couple of goat herders passed. What we noticed was 5 guys coming out of the village, the black village, carrying AK-47s, carrying 105 rounds, carrying wire, shovels, everything you need to basically make an IED explosive. So they walked right past me, and we radioed to the rest of the team that these guys were coming their way, but nobody answered our radio.
I thought I'd have to choose between an IT degree and certifications until I found WGU. There I earned both through one program. I graduated with certs from CompTIA and others at no extra cost. Learn more at WGU.edu.
Security so fast. The agents apply. Their travel itineraries are so well written. They're on the bestseller list. And you have access to lounges that don't officially exist. That's why you rent with Nation, where you can skip the counter and choose any vehicle on your aisle. Because travel is the competition. Except that it is. And you're winning.
They started digging. They planted the bomb. All I heard was just shots over and over and over and over. It sounded like a gunfight. It sounded like the bad guys were the terrorists who were, and my guys, because all of us were suppressed. Meaning quieter shots, no muzzle flash. It seemed like forever, but it was probably less than that. And we kept calling our guys. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what happened? What happened out there? Is anybody out? You guys alive? Give me a head count. Nothing. In my head, I knew everybody was dead. And so it was me and 2 other guys, and we just got back to back. And we said, all right, this is it. We're just going to take as many of these people out as we can before they get us. First thing we hear come over the radio, maybe 5-10 minutes later, we just killed the fuck out of those guys. They let the army guys take the shots. They were not suppressed. So I thought their gunshots were the enemy's gunshots, but it was the army guys, unsuppressed, shooting alongside with our snipers who were suppressed. Here my guy now saying that they had just killed those guys was one of the best sounding voices I've ever heard in my life, knowing that my guys were still alive and that caliber sniper rifle, we use a 7.62 sniper rifle, we use a 5.56 sniper rifle, we have M60 machine guns, we have Mark 48 machine guns, we have Mark 46 machine guns, we have Mark 19 grenade launchers, we have M203 grenade launchers, we have 50 cal machine guns, we have miniguns, we have pretty much anything you can think of that fires a bullet. The main weapon I used was a M4 10-inch barrel with a night force suppressor, and secondary was a P226. The suppressor is not a silencer. A lot of people think it's a silencer. It does dub the noise down a lot. You don't need to wear ear protection when you're shooting with a suppressor, but it's not like what you see on the movies where it sounds like a sewing machine. The main point of the suppressor is to suppress the flash that comes out of the end of the muzzle, whether it be pistol or rifle, because if you're shooting at night and you're in a combat scenario, every time you fire that weapon unsuppressed, it's going to leave a signature. The enemy combatants will wait for that flash, and then they'll aim at where the flash came from. So if you have a suppressor and you're on night vision, then they can't tell where the shots came from, so they don't have anything to actually shoot at. The most fun to fire was definitely the Carl Gustav rocket launcher. I can't remember the exact millimeter of the rocket, but it is about this long, packed full of high explosives, and they will take just about anything out that you pointed at. So one thing that we would use them a lot for are terrorists hiding in caves. It's good to get familiar with as many weapon systems as you possibly can be. Two, we were in the Middle East, and that's the type of weapons that the terrorists were using. And so we trained on all the Soviet-style weapons as well, which are what the enemy combatant terrorists were using at the time. You might be dressed up like a local or somebody from Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, Pakistan, wherever you're operating, Syria. You might be dressed up in the local garments. And what does everybody have there? An AK-47. So you could be undercover, and that's the reason you need to be familiar with it. You might run out of ammo on a direct action or some type of a raid where you have to pick up an enemy combatant's weapon and be very familiar with that to continue on with the mission. When you see seals on the back of a old Toyota Hilux truck, a lot of times what that is those are many times up armored, but they blend in with the local vehicles as well. So you can't get Hiluxes here in the United States, but everywhere else in the world is running around with diesel Toyota Hiluxes, especially in the Middle East. A lot of times we're attached to some type of a partner force. Whether that be a force of Afghan commandos or Iraqi commandos or wherever you're at, a lot of times in special operations you're going to be attached to a partner force, and those partner forces use Toyota Hiluxes. If you're in a 100-vehicle convoy with a partner force and there's only 4 vehicles that actually have seals in them, the rest of them is a partner force, you don't want to be the guys that are standing out. Because if you do get ambushed, it's going to be a dead giveaway. You don't want to make yourself a higher profile target than anybody else on the battlefield. We did a course that was actually put on by the British MI6. We were actually going to go into Eastern Europe, Eastern Bloc countries in Europe, and hunt down warlords and people that have committed war crimes. They put us through a course that taught us how to break into cars, how to hotwire cars, how to blend in, how to surveil somebody on foot, how to surveil somebody in a vehicle, how to surveil somebody in a boat, how to follow them into 50-story buildings, and blend in every type of environment that you can think of and be actually comfortable doing it. I would say the most important piece of equipment that you need in combat is a radio, because radio...
Booking.com has all kinds of things. Because a romantic hotel works for some, but not others. Find exactly what you're looking for. Booking
get you out of there, get you in there, it's your communications. It is actually the biggest gun on the team because you're calling in the biggest guns. You're calling in A-10s, you're calling in fast movers, you're calling in Apaches, you're calling in Spectre gunship. So I would say that the radio is by far the most critical piece of equipment for a mission. I grew up in a small town in Missouri, about 6,000 people. I was a disturber, troublemaker. I liked to party. I liked to raise hell. But it was a good childhood. I had a really good childhood. Very close with my family, my brother and sister. I tried to go into the Marine Corps first, but they wouldn't let me in to go force reconnaissance at the time. They told me I had to go infantry. Then I went to the Army, told them I wanted to be a Green Beret. They kind of laughed me out of the office. I didn't even know what a Navy SEAL was at the time. And the Navy recruiter stuck his head out and just basically said, hey, you ever thought about the SEAL teams? And gave me a pamphlet. So I went home and went to the library, checked out every book I could possibly find on special operations and Navy SEALs, watched all the documentaries on National Geographic, Discovery, and decided that's what I was going to do. I wrestled in high school. I wanted to do the most grueling thing I could possibly do in the small town that I grew up in, which was wrestling. So I cut a lot of weight, did a lot of running. I really had to work on my swimming. That was the biggest challenge for me was the swimming. And so I did a lot of laps in the pool. You can't prepare for it. A lot of people never believed that I could make it. I wasn't a superstar athlete. I really wasn't much of an athlete at all. I didn't make good grades. I wasn't the most popular kid in school by any means. And so I think a lot of people thought that I would just go and fail. You know, the reason I didn't quit is because I didn't want to disappoint my old man, and that's because I felt like I disappointed him a lot as a child. And I wanted to prove to him that there was more than what he saw for the previous 18 years. BUDS is the very, very beginning of the pipeline to becoming a Navy SEAL. BUDS stands for Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training. They want to know how tough you are. They want to know what you can take. They want to know that you are a team player. They want to know what your physical endurance is like, what your mental toughness is like. I knew it was going to be tough. I didn't know it was going to be that tough. The first phase is very structured. Usually you'll wake up, you will have some sort of a PT event, meaning you're either going to do a 4-mile timed run, or a 2 nautical mile swim, or you're going to do an O course, or you may go to the pool and do a pool workout, but you always start off with some type of a physical exercise. Then you'll be getting your ass kicked on the grinder by the instructors with calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, flutter kicks, getting sprayed with the hose, getting sand kicked on you. Nice little wake up in the morning, and then that will filter into more meetings until lunch. At lunch, you probably get about 30 minutes. You run back from lunch, about 1.5 miles to and from lunch. You run everywhere, and then meetings commence after lunch, well into the evening. Usually you're done by about 9 o'clock at night. You'll probably do some type of rock portage. Those are the little boats that you see out there, those rubber boats with the guys with the paddles and the life jackets. And they have to man those boats on the rocks with the surf. Sometimes the surf can get up to 12, 15-foot swells. And so it makes for a very challenging experience. No week is famously known as the most grueling week of SEAL training. It's 5 days, 5 nights, no sleep. Maybe you might get a little nap here and there, but you are constantly moving. You are constantly in the water. You're freezing your ass off, fighting hypothermia. I believe the water there is a brisk 58 degrees. I was so miserable. I was in a week that I almost quit. My buddy slapped me in the face and told me, there's no way you're leaving us here. What you don't see on TV and in the documentaries and everything is you're now like I said, you're constantly wet. You're constantly sandy because 90% of the course takes place on the beach. And so the instructor staff, they know that sand gets into every crevice of your body. And they take advantage of that. So they might have you do a 5-mile run after you go get wet and sandy, and that rubs all the skin off your crotch, off your armpits, anything, any skin that's rubbing together, it's going to be wrong. Then when that dries, they have you hit the surf, you're going to get back into salt water, which is like dumping hydrochloric acid on your skin, and it's just a constant vicious cycle of doing that over and over and over and over. Everybody that quits has to ring the bell. It's a very humiliating experience. You have to ring the bell in front of your entire class. Most classes, at least what I went through, were right around 200 to 250 people, and then place your helmet in a line right under the bell. So after another week, you will just see a line of 100+ helmets all under that bell. The first time I heard that bell, I was thinking, I hope to God that's not me one day. I did not want to disappoint my father and call him, letting him know that I had quit and didn't have what it took.
Bad
Once I got that in my head, it never crossed my mind.
I think.
They just want to see that you overcome just about anything, whether it's not near a shot in combat or having a lip blown off or something like that. They want to know that you're going to fight through and still be with the team and not give up. When hell is finished, it's one of the best feelings in the world. They bring the American flag out. It's a big ceremony. You haven't slept in 5 days, and they basically just give you a big congratulations for completing the toughest military training in the world, and they offer you a pizza. Then there's phase 2, which is dive phase, and that is learning how to do scuba, that's learning closed circuit breathing, apparatuses known as a Draeger. The first thing you do is you go through dive physics and dive medical so that you actually understand dive medicine and how deep you can go for how long, things like that. Then once you pass that, then you move into open circuit, which would be what most people consider or call scuba diving. It's called pool comp. It's the last big obstacle that gets people kicked out, that they can't pass. It starts with very minimal tasks. It might be just, hey, put your tanks on underwater.
Shots go.
All right, your tanks are functioning. You need to take them off, figure out what's going on. All the way up to you'll be full jocked up with all your dive equipment, minus tanks.
Fucking wild boar.
Of the pool. And then a group of instructors will come down. They'll give you what they call a surf hit, which is basically beating the shit out of you underwater, but punch your gut, make sure your air is gone, tie your hoses up so you can't breathe out of your breathing apparatus, tie that in knots. They will make your tanks malfunction, turn your air off. Basically what they do is create mass confusion and take all of your air away. And what they want to see is that you can remain calm. You're not going to jet to the surface for air. Get your dive rig back to a functioning way and continue on that track. There's no secret to staying calm down there. You have no air. You just got the shit knocked out of you. You can't figure out what's wrong. You have water in your eyes and you can't really see. And, but you know, it's not supposed to be easy. Open water is a whole new ballgame. 9 times out of 10, if we're diving under a ship to plant bomb, and then we're kicking back out. Sometimes these could be 8-hour excursions, you know. And so they want to see that you're comfortable underwater, that you can handle yourself, and not only yourself, you're not diving the coral reef down in Key West. You are diving San Diego Bay, ships, sharks, seals, dolphins that are trying to kill you. So in the early 2000s, the Navy developed a mammal program, and what they were doing when they were training dolphins and seals, the animal, not these special ops, they were training seals and dolphins on anti-swimmers, and I believe it was explosive detection. And so they would train these animals, and then they would would send them out, the Dolphins would obviously use their sonar to find enemy combatants that were trying to plant bombs on ships. So, the Buds did yesterday the test episode. Fortunately, I did not have that experience, but I did wind up in the mammal cages by accident. The only way you know where you're going is you memorize your bearing, you look at your compass, you hit your bearing, and you count your kicks. So my kick count was 66 kicks, was 100 yards. It was about a 6-hour dive, I believe. And my kick count was a little off because of the current. I had the wrong bearing next to the pier that you're diving off of for buds. Just so happens to be the mammal program. And so if you look at the top of the water, it is chain link fence, so you'd think that goes all the way down to the bottom. Well, it doesn't. It's more like a cargo net under the water. It's saying Dive Bear 23, you are entering the mammal cages. And I remember looking at my buddy like, we're going to go in mammal cages. And they kept saying I was the lead navigator. And we were completely, what appeared to be inside the mammal cages. I looked up, I saw the cargo net was going over my wetsuit hood that's right in the ceiling, all the way behind us. So when we looked up, we felt we were inside the mammal cages, and kicked like hell to get the hell out of there. The deep net was just draped over top of us, and we were done there. Everybody hits a low point. And so when you have a good guy, a good teammate that puts out, cares about the rest of the team, when he hits that low point, the rest of the team will help encourage them to get his spirits back up, not to quit, and let them know that, the rest of the team's depending on them. My favorite part was the land warfare phase, which is demolition, firearms, land navigation, basically your land warfare phase. They start to treat you like an actual human being again, and the beatings become less and less. You're learning land navigation, you're learning pistols, you're learning how to shoot rifles, you're learning how to shoot submachine guns, and the best part is learning demolition. You didn't learn how to use C4, TNT, Bangalore torpedoes, data sheet, you name the explosive, we use it. You're blowing up cars, you're blowing up buildings, you're learning precision demolition, you're blowing things up in the water, like obstacles that they'll put out into the ocean. You'll dive down, plant a haversack on them, and blow it right there in place. I love to blow shit up. The first weapon I trained on was a 6-hour P226 9mm handgun. I think they start with the handgun because the handgun is the most challenging weapon to master in firearms. And once you have the fundamentals of handgun shooting down, then all the other kind of shooting, just with all the other platforms, just kind of falls into place. Singles are such good shots because we train. It gets ingrained in you, and so even in buds, you're going to spend a week to 2 weeks of dry firing. What I mean by dry firing is no bullets, no nothing, just your weapon. And so you come out just like you're shooting just like you're shooting for real bullets, but you get your form down, placement, all the motions, all the grips, everything, sight alignment, grip, the way you hold it, the way you present your pistol, everything has to be perfect. And then by the time that you put a real bullet in that weapon, it goes right where it needs to go. And then you do the same thing with rifle. Take your M4, start shooting, dry firing for a week, maybe 2 weeks, before a live round ever leaves that barrel. You'll know exactly what you're doing.
Don't get sacked by the competition. Choose Stellar Roofing.
I left the Steelers for a multitude of reasons. I didn't get enough action. I was very, very gung-ho about going to war. Did the Haiti thing, then we went to Germany, then we went to Afghanistan, did a little bit in Afghanistan, did a lot in Iraq, but I didn't want to do another 6 years for a very small portion of being in combat. I saw what 20 plus years will do to somebody, to their body, to their home life. Pretty much everybody I know was divorced or has been divorced or was getting a divorce. A lot of them didn't know their kids very, very good. Your platoon, your teammates are your primary family, and the families are the secondary. And I knew that if I stayed in at the rate I was going, that I was going to be a very lonely person come retirement. I wanted to try business. I became a real estate agent and failed miserably at it, and got into a fire academy and found out that I wasn't going to have a guaranteed job, and that it would likely take about 2.5 years before I did get a full-time job as a firefighter. I didn't have time. I don't have 2.5 years to wait around. A friend of mine gave me a call and told me that he wanted me to try out for this contracting program. He said, this is a black program. I can't tell you who we're actually working for, but I can assure you that everybody who's in this program or even gets a chance to try out for this program has to have had a special ops background. And about 6 months later, I got a call to show up at a specific location, what kind of gear I needed, and that I was going to be a tryout. And so I went, I did the tryout. It took about a month. When we finished the tryout, they had told us that the client that we were going to be working for was Central Intelligence Agency. Pay was astronomically higher. It was probably 4 to 5 times higher than I was making as a SEAL. The deployment cycle as a contractor is kind of on you. I liked to do 60 days on, 60 days off. At the end, I was doing 45 days on, 45 days off. Some guys like to do 90, 120 days out, 1 week back. It's kind of all up to you and how much you want to give them and how much you want to give your family. When I left the agency, I started a tactical training company. It grew very fast. Got to train Keanu Reeves for John Wick 3. That was pretty much the height of it. Then I got really tired of it. After doing the job for real for 14 years, give or take a little bit, I had grown a pretty successful YouTube channel from the tactics training videos that I would put out. And so I decided that I wanted to document history from the people who were there, the way it actually happened. So I started the Sean Ryan Show for a couple of reasons. I really got tired of watching the mainstream media talk about all the events that I was a part of, or that my colleagues were a part of. It was always somebody that had never been there. And veterans didn't have a voice, and I wanted to bring that out and talk to guys like myself who had been through that and how they got out of it. So everybody that I brought on at the beginning had found some type of through entrepreneurship and had been through the low points, the addictions, to adrenaline, to substance abuse, to broken families, to suicide attempts. You have been in a fight or flight state for as long as your career was, basically. More adrenaline dumps than anybody else you could possibly imagine. Multiple adrenaline dumps a day. That's a lot of chemicals, being released into your brain. It becomes an addiction. An addiction for adrenaline. My coping mechanisms were finding new ways to get an adrenaline release. Lots and lots of sleep meds, everything from Ambien, Valium, Xanax, lorazepam, anything I could get my hands on, opiates, hydrocodone, tramadol, you name it, I'd take it. I moved out of the country to Colombia, South America. I lived in Medellin for quite a while, and I got really into cocaine and
started going into the worst neighborhoods I could find in Colombia to find where to buy cocaine from. And when that got boring, then I would go to another country and I would start doing it there. At the worst point in my life, I was drinking 2/5 of vodka a day. I would wake up and have about 1/5 of vodka, mini bottles that would be everywhere, all over my house, in my car, in my bedroom, everywhere. And then at night after dinner, I would just crack open 1/5 out of the freezer and start going to town on that. Wash down my pills to go to sleep, which by the end of it, they didn't even really put me to sleep. And then I would wake up with a nice pick-me-up of Adderall or some other type of stimulant to keep me going, and it just became this vicious cycle for years and years and years. When you are a SEAL, there's not much support. It's not something that they like to address. They don't want to bring any light to that. It makes the units look bad, and so a lot of them pretend like it's never happened. Nobody wanted to go to medical because everybody wanted to go on a mission. And so if we went to medical, everybody was scared that it might be some type of chronic illness or injury that would take them off the mission. So a lot of guys would hide it. I had a hernia that I got in basic training, and I refused to tell them all the way through because I was scared that they were going to pull my SEAL contract out from under me. So I went all the way through basic training with a bulging hernia in my groin, and finally told them when I was done. I've had multiple concussions from explosions, from being blown up, blowing cars up, shooting huge rocket launchers like Carl Gustav's, falling out of helicopters. I don't even know how high we were because it was dark, and I missed the rope. Fell out of the helo, but it was 50 feet or less. A lot of wear and tear from up in the mountains of Afghanistan, a lot of wear and tear from buds, major back issues, those kind of things. I've never been shot. A lot of us have the same injuries and the same symptoms and deal with PTSD and deal with traumatic brain injury and stuff like that. And when you get out, though, there are a lot of resources. Not very many government resources. The government doesn't do a very good job at treating these things. It's a dark time for a lot of guys, especially when they get out. We're not used to slow-paced environments. We're not used to not having adrenaline dumps. We're not used to integrating into a civilian environment. And we're not used to having to deal with feelings. You have a mission to do. That's the only reason you're there. And so when you get out, and you have to learn patience. I guess I'll say that. And a lot of guys don't have very good patience when they get out. But what there are is a lot of veterans out there who've started nonprofits, and the focus of the nonprofit is what worked for them, whether that's group therapy or psychedelic therapy or going to hyperbaric chambers to try to repair your brain health. I did 2 different psychedelics. There was, the first one was Ibogaine, which is about a 12-hour experience. It's like watching your entire life through a different perspective. And then you do what they call 5-MeO DMT. It's basically an ego death. And it is a death experience. It was the most intuitive experience that I've ever had. And when I came out of the death experience and experienced the bliss, I could feel and see a flow of energy coming from the ocean onto the shore, into the grass, up the trees. And for the first time in my life, I have realized that everything is connected and everything is one.
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money and they got everything done.
I'm getting back on track with Dr. Crush.
My name is Jonathan Taylor. In 2011, I took the longest sniper shots in Marine Corps history. This is everything I'm authorized to tell you. find yourself always living in an elevated sense of alertness. Not bursting through something PTSD. You come home within a week, now you're back at your kitchen table with your family, back home, and you're going right back into daily life. It's a difficult transition. People ask, how do you go to shoot someone? I can't do it to shoot someone. My answer to that is no, it's not hard to shoot someone at all. It's actually, for me, it's just like shooting a target. The only thing that's different to me is there's a big psychological effect if you miss. There's a big psychological effect if you wound and get away. If you take a sniper shot and you miss, they know they were shot at by a Marine sniper and you miss them. They can now use that as propaganda. They can fill their chest up. The Marine snipers can't shoot. I got shot at by a sniper, he didn't hit me. If you engage me in combat and you wound them, they get away. Now you've definitely created damage. You can now walk around saying, I got shot by a Marine sniper and I'm fine. But now I'll do everything I can to hunt down and kill Marine snipers. I can confidently say that I've always used my good knowledge to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. And that is, having positive ID, a weapon, or hostile act, hostile intent. Those three things are a must-have if you're going to try to engage anyone. When we would do these missions, when we had enemy kills and things, we would never talk about it. We would come back and the mission was over and, hey, you kill, yeah, I think we killed a couple guys. That's it. Unless you actually can physically touch the body, which you never can as a sniper. And also, the Afghan and Iraqi, the people that we were combating against, they take their bodies to the mountains. It's very rare that you find them. And the way you know you got a kill is the funeral. Our interpreter would have friends in the market. They'd say, hey, you know that engagement over there when you was building 91? You shot 5 guys. They just had 5 funerals this week. That's all those guys. Most of the time, we try to insert under the cover of darkness. So we insert at night. We insert about usually 1, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. That way you can make your movement to your position, get set in before the sun comes up, get everything stay pretty set up, make sure you can see what you're trying to observe, get your radio up, make sure you got comm going, those kinds of things. And then as soon as the sun comes up, you're on alert. You're observing what kind of life in the area. When you're on a mission, especially a 3-day mission, a lot of times you're usually not in a really comfortable position for those 3 days because there's not a lot of terrain to work with. A lot of times what we're doing is IED interdiction, so explosive device interdiction. So they, the bag off, big holes in the side of the road, explosives, wait for trucks to come and blow them up. So insert yourself into an area where you can get good eyes on, observe that intersection where multiple IEDs are taking place. There's not a lot of ways to disguise yourself. So what we'd have to do is we'd have to dig holes just a few inches down. And then we would take rocks and other stuff around us, bushes, and kind of place them around it so that it didn't look like a giant hole. And we would make a little lane in there so that we could have our gun and our scope observed, observation post. Sometimes we would take occupied houses where people lived in families because they had a certain window on the second floor that had good eyes on a certain intersection and now we didn't see. That was always a weird feeling, going into somebody's house that's occupied at 2 in the morning, knocking on the door, knocking on the window, and you just hold your pistol up and like, I'm coming in. They got no choice. We would tell the family basically, hey, if you can move around your house, do your day-to-day business, you just can't leave the confinements of your compound while we're there. After the first couple times doing that, I realized it was very difficult to language barrier. We never had an interpreter really assigned to us in Iraq. Afghan, we did a lot. Basically, I wrote out on a notepad like an entry statement for these houses. And it said, hey, we are U.S. Marines. You're going to use your house for a mission. We'll be here no longer than the mission requires. We will treat you with respect. Please treat you with respect. Please bring us any weapons or ammunition or cell phones that you may have. If you have sick or wounded, please let us know. That was about it. I'll put that on a piece of paper and have it written in Arabic. I had to back to local civilians. it wasn't their fault. They weren't hitmen. So we try to treat them with as much respect as we could. Being a sniper in combat situation, you can definitely find yourself in some crazy situations. Very dirty situations. One time in particular, you can get eyes on this one section of the road, and it was right in the outskirts of the village. And the only covered position that we could get, beside this little house, there was a small little sheep shed. It was really small. But I had a 4-man team. And we were like, we got nowhere to go. 3 in the morning, walking around trying to find a spot. Last thing we found was something came up with that shit. We made a little pile of hay with a hay bale, and we were going to raise all the hay out of the ground and make it a flat spot. We could lay down and sleep. There was just maggots, just layer after layer, ears, sheep, active maggots. We try to get rid of those chemicals. So that's very common. So it's not doing those kind of spots. Or if it's cold, a lot of times, especially if you're near a river, trying to observe, it's going to have to be in a really kind of spot. Probably you should get. You don't want to be on the side of the beach. You have to be hidden, so you get in the reeds, you get into like a little wash, and disguise yourself in that. If you're sitting there for 2 or 3 days, it's 30 degrees, 20 degrees outside. So it goes from those extremes to extreme cold and extreme hot to really in the swamp. It's been anywhere, usually the worst places on earth is where you can find
Bath fitter does showers. That's right. We offer a wide selection of beautiful and functional showers. We can even convert your bath in.
So the average loadout for a 4-man sniper team during Operation Iraqi Freedom, this was my team. We had your team leader, your assistant team leader, your radio operator, and your security guy / machine guy. Everybody would have at least 6 liters plus of water. We would have food to sustain ourselves for 3 to 4 days. And we would have extra of everything. I would have my sniper rifle, and that would be T-bone across my ruck. I would have an M4. I would also have a pistol. And that's what I would carry. I would carry extra batteries to help the radio guy out. And I would carry extra ammo, just in case. I would have at least 6 magazines of ammo on my chest, including 1 or 2 frag grenades, a pyro pop-up for signals. That's about it for my loadout. Assistant team leader, very similar loadout. He would carry usually just an M4, anything we need as far as like to observe, so binoculars, spotting scope, night vision, and then our RTO, our radio guys, he would carry 1 or 2 radios, sometimes 2, that all would be at least 1, with extra batteries, and able on personal loadout as well. Our machine gunner, our last guy, security guy, he would carry usually a Claymore, which is a explosive device. He would also carry his machine gun and extra ammo, and also help carry extra batteries for the radio guy. The average weight of a scout sniper's pack on a mission, combat mission, is 65 pounds, I would say, average. And then on top of that, you've got your full combat loadout. So you've got your flak jacket, your armor, your magazines, plus all your guns. So it gets really heavy. It's probably 80 to 100 pounds per person that you're carrying. So one of the most, I guess, well-known items in a scout sniper's arsenal is his ghillie suit. You take a pair of utilities, your regular clothes come on, and you attach netting, you attach burlap, you attach things to conceal yourself, camouflage yourself. When we build a ghillie suit with camouflage, we usually always build it out of your everything, which is your light color, your light brown tan. Because once you get that dirty, it starts to get brown. We kind of make that blend in the environment. At that point, it's just based off what environment you use the same ghillie suit. Because you've got your netting in the back, and your burlap, you use that burlap to tie in vegetation. In Afghanistan, if you're out in the farmlands, near the wadis and rivers, and you can use all the tall grasses and things like that, stick them all over the top to be very concealed. Very rarely do we wear ghillie suits in the country. We mostly try to use the terrain to disguise us as much as we could. One thing that gets difficult is if you're on a 3-day mission, you're laying there in a hole in the desert, and you've got nothing to protect you from the sun. All your water leaves very quickly. We dehydrate very quickly. We order 10-day sheets online, have family shipped to us. We spray paint them. different colors, and then we take them and make a muzzle by our patrol base, and we just dump them in the mud, cover them in the mud, put them in the creek, get the dirty as we can, dry them out. And now we've got what looks like natural terrain shape covered. So then from there, we can take, like this your average tent pole that snaps together. We can take those, figure out ways to rig them, to maybe get us a little canopy, stick it in the hole, we can all lay down under it. So now we've got a cover from the sun. But we're also covered from people seeing us. We get creative, especially when you get hot. This is not fun laying there. 110 degrees. The most coveted item that we have as a scout sniper is called the hog's tooth. Especially when you're active duty, I think I never took mine off when I was active, and now I only wear it for special occasions basically, but I have mine on today. And basically what it is, it's the projectile from a 308 round or bullet. The hog's tooth is a necklace that every scout sniper gets presented with them from graduate sniper school. It's your prized possession. A lot of snipers never take it off. And this is the actual round that we shoot in sniper school and we train with. Hold it close to your heart. The one behind it is the one that I go with and most people go with is this is enemy's last round. So this is the round that was meant for you that didn't strike. As long as you have this round around your neck, you're invincible. So in 2011, I was a sniper team leader. Also, I was Shogun for local teams. So I was a senior sniper on the team. We had a very stacked defense, a lot of experience. Everybody had multiple performance. That platoon was full of stuff. This was in March of Afghanistan, the Helmand province. We had all the area operations to the east of town. There was a lot of enemy activity, and they would kind of come in and out of March through this area. It was like no man. Anytime you reached a certain grid line east of the city, you would start getting engaged. Every time. The reason the area was so protected by it is because that's where they had a lot of their poppy, opium, marijuana facilities. So the whole mission was that Afghan Army and Afghan police were going to do a north to south clearing operation, methodically locating, burning down marijuana fields, poppy fields, all the way down. What we were assigned to do was to insert 2 or 3 days ahead of the main operation to a building in the most eastern part of the village to observe pattern of life and report on any activities in that area. The morning of, as the vehicles were taking started pushing through, we could see multiple motorcycles full of guys coming in, 2 or 3 guys on each motorcycle. The way they operate in that area, every time they're going for an attack, they wear all black. And as the Afghani army and Afghan police start pushing south and burning out these fields, these enemy guys start coming up and staging in this one little area of this village to start harassing them. My team is reporting on this from the building. They can't see us. They don't know we're there. We're over 2,000 yards away. And we can see what it looks like. At this time, I'm making the spots to go to observe. My teammate, he is actually on the 50 count. I'm trying to get him off on the statistics just in case we can take a shot. We realize it's over 2,000 yards, which is past the max effective range of the M107 50 cal, the Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle. Over 2,200 is the max effective range, so we knew that it's going to be a difficult shot if we had to take it. We do all the math here, figure it out. On the corner, I'm telling the CEO, like, hey, we got these guys, they look shady, doing something. I haven't got positive ID yet. Like, you get positive ID, it's the weapons, console house change, fire wheel. We're getting ready. All of a sudden, there it goes. The guy jumps up on the berm, right behind this wall. All of a sudden, we're seeing an RPG clear as day. He shot RPG towards the Afghan army guys, Afghan police. Then I screamed, RPG, got an RPG. And then the CEO was like, fire. So I told Nixon, he was like, where should I hold this thing? I've got elevation maxed out. It's past the max effective. And I'm like, just hold it as low as you can. I hold the last middle dot, fire. He took a shot and it hit me there. It was like 300 yards short. Rough, 300 yards short. Cody was like, I don't know how to hold it against him. Because he wasn't very good, very good sniper teammate, but he wasn't a coaching sniper. So I said, okay, let me get on that. I did my own calculation in my head and did a mill hole, which is, it's a technique that you use to do a hole instead of doing actually cranking the actual data on your scope for elevation. You just hold. I did my mill hole, and when I determined that I was about the spot I needed to take the shot, I was actually looking at a cloud. So my crosshairs were basically holding on a cloud. Couldn't see the guy at all. That's how high I was. And I said, okay, Nick, I'm about to fire a shot for reference. Tell me where I hit. So I shot. Boom. Hit the wall right beside you. And then it just hits it. You see the flash. Just bang. You got it. Wherever you're holding, stay there. So they all start kind of walking kind of fast. And as soon as they peek from that, the cover of that wall, I have my spot where I'm holding, right in the middle of the wall, and I drop in the fire 9 rounds. Dust, flash, you couldn't see anything like that. And the reason it's such a big flash is because the round that we shoot is this is a replica of a 50 caliber sniper round. The round that we shoot is actually called a rocket round. It is kind of like an explosive tip round. It's got a tungsten penetrator inside of it, and then it's also filled with zirconium particles. Zirconium particles is like incendiary lights up burns. These projectiles have that. So it's designed to engage light armor vehicles and shoot into the engine block of the truck and then light on fire. But we use these, especially all around the handle options. So the good thing about rocket rounds, they do some damage. Secondly, it's easy to see and spot your shots because it explodes in a flash. So we can see that flash hitting right in the body. There's nowhere that we go. Calling in, we're reporting all this right to the CO at the time. A few minutes later, there was no more activity, no guys. What we do is a battle. So a squad of injured go out after the sniper kill, do a session. We go look and see their bodies, what there was. The shoot positions they were still in. So they call me later, like, hey, yeah, Dickie, we see blood everywhere, bloody clothes, bloody blankets, bloody everything, chunks of flesh. So these guys didn't survive. The distance was 26 meters, over 2,600 yards. Yeah, I knew it was far. It was a long engagement. I haven't heard of anybody at that point ever engaging anybody that far. But at the time, you don't think about it. One of the scout snipers is really concerned. There's things that are taboo that people don't like to talk about, bonus kills, things like that. That's why I never came out with it for a long time. And I encourage anybody else out there they have stories like that. Sniper stories. Share your stories. People don't know what they don't know. And we're trying to honor the legacy, honor the impact we've left on the battlefield. Every Marine sniper will come out and tell their stories. Helps us preserve that history.
Texas was waiting and wondering and worrying. Now Texas is matching with a TurboTax expert who does everything for you. Who can do your taxes in a day, so you can get up to $4,000 instantly. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
Make your browser fast. Make your browser safe. Make your browser Chrome.
To be a Marine Scout Sniper Infantry Battalion is voluntary. What they do is just about every year or after every deployment, they'll hold indocs, indoctrination. Basically, it's a tryout. So out of most indocs, say 25 guys show up. And these are probably more than likely some of your best, the top tier guys in the infantry battalion come out for this. It all starts with fearless. The first day of check-in for the indoc. 05 in the morning, everybody lay their stuff out. If you're missing one item on that list, pack your stuff. That's it. Have to have attention to detail. You can't make attention to detail to try out. After that year list, the guys then pack their roughs up and we do a physical fitness test. So 3-mile run, max 7 pull-ups, max 7 pushes. Do that. This was high first class. They're good. And we had 2 logs between us. And water jugs, MREs, everything that we needed to sustain us. When I say MREs, I mean that's your food, your box. Meals ready. They're not very delicious, but they have all the nutrients you need. And they would hike those logs with all their gear out to the training area, which is about 5 miles. And there's the snipers in the platoon, the senior snipers are running around, yelling at you, pulling you out of formation, making you do stuff, like getting back into formation. About 5 miles. And when you get to the training area, first thing you do is you set up all the tents and set the camp up. And then from there, it's basically non-stop for about 10 days, just hell on earth. They're going to treat you like for 10 days straight, very little sleep, little food, and test all of your emotional knowledge. Out of the 25 in my indoc, 7 finished it without quitting, and they kept 6 of us. So it's pretty high attrition rate in indoc. But those 6 guys, you're all really tight now because you always went through something very hellacious together. To this point in my life, that could have been the hardest thing. My feet were destroyed, bleeding through my boots. It was pretty fun. The next step in your journey, join a platoon, get assigned a team, you start building your way out in the team, finding your niche, and then once you're ready, your platoon thinks you're ready, they try to get you a spot in sniper school. Those spots are very cut. The attrition rate for sniper school is about 65% historically. The school on young, a long time. You're buddied up with somebody, you got a buddy partner, a shooter spotter, number 8, you're with that guy 24/7. He's attached to your hip. So everywhere you go, you're together. If you fail, he fails. If you're in trouble, he's in trouble. So better hope you got a good partner. We go right into the first phase, which is land navigation. Land navigation is the first gradable event that can drop you. It's very difficult. Basically what you're doing is you're using a map and a compass, and you're trying to locate a tent stake in the ground, and on that stake has a dog tag, and you're trying to find that in a dense wooded swamp area. It's very difficult to find. You have to find so many in a certain number of hours to say you passed. So that gets a couple of people usually in sniper school on the bat. And after that, you go into the second phase, where you start learning your marksmanship. Whenever it comes a time that you have to make a shot, it is the most important, because you can't. Then you go into your field skills. That's when you're learning how to do what we call observation exercises. So basically you lay down and you have your spot and scope, binos. The instructors place 10 to 12 military items out in the area somewhere, in the field, or wherever. You have to lay there in the throne and try to identify those items. It can be as small as a bullet, an AP brush that you use to brush your finger gun with. It can be a magazine clip. The skill that you're learning, the skill set to get you used to observing what we call the baseline. The baseline, everything as it is in its natural state. Right? So as a sniper, you have to be trained to notice changes in the baseline. The next thing that we learn is called stalking, camouflage and assault. Stalking is the #1 phase of sniper school that people get dropped on. That's the hardest part. You put your gun suit on, camouflage up, and they take you out to an area. They determine the left lateral limit and the right lateral limit. At one end, they'll park a truck with 2 instructors on the top, and chairs, binoculars, and they're observing that whole area called stalking. And all the snipers are in what we call the edge line. The whole purpose of the stalk is to make your way concealed within 200 meters, 200 yards of the observers on the truck. Set up a shooting position and take a well-aimed shot at the truck with these planes, and then be able to report and observe on what they're doing. There's walkers out there that are walking around to help the observers try to locate you. Once you make your stalk, you are kind of finished. It's really yours to lose at this point. Now you're in the mission planning execution phase. This phase is where they're actually assembling you into sniper teams and teaching you how to run missions. They'll set up a command post, an office there, with radios. You'll get mission checkpoints. You'll patrol out to your checkpoints. You'll get an observation spots where you're supposed to observe a target. You'll stay out there for a couple of days doing that, reporting information back. just like you would. You'll get compromised sometimes and have to evade or break contact and run 2 miles, set up another spot, play with your luck. But the whole final phase is just teaching you how to develop and write a live paragraph work, we call it, which is basically a mission plan, how to brief that properly, how to build a model which shows, illustrates what you're doing, and to be able to articulate and brief that to a command. You know, once you pass that, you're basically good. By then, it's, you know, you're 11th week. Now you're basically trained scout sniper. You still don't know everything, for sure. But now you know how to at least carry yourself and operate on a team in a combat zone.
Every product Rock makes is named after one of my buddies in the trades who inspired it and helped us design it. Every step of our design process revolves around listening to the guys who actually do the work, because they've earned a seat at the table.
When you go up against the strongest competition, you've got to have what it takes to win. Excellent teamwork, clear communication, flawless organization, and the ultimate dedication.